4,700 pounds, pretty much on the nose. A Bullet 243 bunkhouse rolling in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This would be the sister to what was called the 2400 BH Passport, now called the 240 BH Passport that we also carry here at Haylett RV. Very similar in a lot of ways. A couple small differences, like this has a shorter Camp Queen instead of a longer 80-inch Queen, but otherwise it's basically the same kind of layout, just a couple years older. Going to be a very good option for someone. It's well kept, by the way, I should throw that out there, but it's going to be a very good option for someone who's trying to either start camping, get out of a pop-up, or move up into something with a slide out from a no-slide bunkhouse. One of the few differences between this and the Passport 2400 cousin is this one's just a little bit trickier to get through with the slide closed. If you really kind of climb around the Dinette, like if you just kind of do a quick step over the seating, preferably with socks, not shoes, I'm sure, you'd be able to get through here. But short of that, you want to bump the slide open to get to most of the features. Overall, appears to be used, but well kept. It's gone through at least 2 previous owners that we've been able to discern just through chatting with the customers and putting 2 and 2 together just from RV industry experience here. Although it, not late model, it looks like both previous owners kind of had the same story where they bought this one to try camping, they liked it, and then they moved up into something larger, which is exactly what the current owners are doing, or I guess you could say the previous owners, whatever, you get the point. So you got that Dinette with windows all the way around it for, great airflow, lots of light, although you do have pleated shades you can pull down for privacy there. The Dinette here will have full storage below and can fold down into a pretty generously sized sleeping space if required, which means that this bunkhouse can sleep 4 people without sharing beds, other than the master bed up front, of course. And then you could expand that up to 6 if you double up in the rear bunks, and 7 to 8 if you utilize 1 or 2 people on the Dinette. So, small camper that can really pack a lot of punch when it comes to sleeping capacity here. Now, one thing this does very nicely, you see to the right of the microwave, there's that extra overhead cabinet there, and you've got that extra kick of countertop space next to it. It is one of those things that this brand has always done well, is counter space. And for many years, instead of like that one basin farm sink is like, oh man, it is just, everybody loves doing that right now. These guys have been doing it for a long, long time. Back at least 3-4 years ago, at least that I know of, if not more than that. Now, these L-shaped peninsula countertops, they are also all the rage, but once again, Keystone's been doing this for a very long time. You see a similar arrangement in its sister, the Passport. And you may have noticed those big compartment doors so that you can get inside of every ounce of storage space below the countertop. Now back here, the double bunks, they did a couple things really intelligently. Now the shades are drawn currently, but that is a breeze window up there if need be. They previous owners just put on, actually not previous owners, Bullet puts on a roll-up privacy shade there. And there are power outlets in that rear corner for the kiddos to have their own little, electrical devices. Now down here you see the same outlets and the same side window, but you pick up a rear window. Why they put 2 windows here? The answer is because the outside kitchen can mostly cover the left-hand window, whereas that rear window is always going to be open for airflow. Now there is storage below the bunks, and we do have a pretty nice standardized sort of pantry arrangement right here, in the middle of everything, but you see it's got a hanging rack in it. So if you want to remove some of these shelves, you can do that to convert it into hanging storage or pantry space or linen space or whatever you need it to be. I don't care. It looks like previous owners added this virtual full-length mirror to the door right here, and that is nice for trying to get yourself dressed and around, but it'll also make the bathroom feel much larger. It's actually a nice visual trick that a lot of people use, kind of like when you're in a fun house. All those mirrors can make a small room look and feel big and distort your sense of space, Bathroom is simple, but simply effective. What more do you need it to do? We've got our, toilet, protected wall shower. You've got a combination skylight and power vent fan. That is one of those little areas where Bullet was kind of using a little bit of like an intelligent design point, say, well, if we put our power vent fan above the shower, it's basically a skylight. That'll work, I personally prefer having separated fixtures, but there's nothing wrong with that either. Now, the TV does pivot out to face the dinette, so it's not so much of what I call a neck wrecker entertainment system. It does make it a little bit easier viewing there. And just to kind of give you an idea of what all the kitchen arrangement looks like from the opposite direction, let me give you a quick pan around here. I do like that max height window for cross breeze in the kitchen as well. We do have central air in the ceiling and central heat in the floor. Central hair is a combination of central heat and air in my head this morning, apparently. So TV can pivot out. We've got Bluetooth, DVD, stereo, and this is kind of cool. A lot of people always got concerned with the fact that Bullet and Passport put their control center right here. So previous owners just put on this handy little swing open sort of access panel with a simple little flip latch. And it's just enough to, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. It helps keep the little kiddo fingers who don't need to be messing with it. It helps just make it so that they're not looking for it. Now, don't get me wrong, as a little kid I still would have found a way, but it's better than nothing, I think. Now, up here in the bedroom, mostly this is pretty standard fare, but, and this, remember, this is a short Camp Queen, but previous owners did add one of those handy little shoe organizer racks right here. I think it's in a smart spot right next to the entry door so that you can walk in, kick your shoes off, and not track a lot of dirt through the RV. And that morning sun is doing us no favors, kind of blinded us by the light here a little bit, but I think you can still get the general gist of things. Clean looking fiberglass skin. I'm not seeing rough scratches, scars, blemishes, bumps, bruises, and otherwise. This does have, I googled it. I said, you know, hey, what size is this compartment up here? And it said absolutely ginormous. This has an absolutely ginormous front pass-through compartment. And you can also see the all-aluminum skeleton by peeking your head in there. This has laminated walls and floor. We have aluminum skeleton through those areas, as well as the front and rear walls. Now, this actually has galvanized steel roof trusses, so I guess in point of technicality, it's not a pure aluminum skeleton, but the thing I think a lot of people are looking for is it wood or not? And this is a not wood skeleton, which is one of the areas that it is keeping the weight down. Power tongue jack does the heavy lifting for you. Power awning makes setting camp simple. It does have a heated enclosed belly with a 30,000 BTU furnace, which frankly does a pretty good job. Now, we do have a Max Air vent cover over the bathroom vent here, so somebody added that aftermarket because that is not a standard piece of equipment. Black tank flush and outside shower. Wide stance stability axles here are going to make this thing track and tow very nicely. And that's another thing, is that at 4,700 pounds, there are a lot of your mid to upper size SUVs that could easily tow this thing, but they really shouldn't be necessarily due to wheelbase restrictions, because some short wheelbase SUVs like a Jeep Grand Cherokee could tow like 7,000 pounds if properly built. But the short wheelbase makes it a little bit squirrely if you are towing a trailer. Well, you're not going to have that problem here due to those wide stance axles. Now, if we take a look down here, you see a bumper bracket for an outside RVQ grill. This does have the grill included with it. I forgot to mention that inside. If you lift the bed up inside, the original bumper grill is included. So you have both a grill as well as the full outside kitchen with the little cooktop over there, and that like quick hose release sort of scorpion tail style sink right there, which is kind of cool because if you get one of those blue coily hose attachments, it has a residential like garden sprayer hose fixture on the end. So, you know, great for campsite cleanup too. That could kind of be like a door side outside shower if need be. Although I don't think the neighbors would appreciate it unless you put a screen room on the awning. And I do like these wing out countertops here. Now, if I, let me see how far I can back up without running into something. You can see that we've got the biggest power awning on here they possibly could. And I apologize, the morning sun's not doing us any favors. So, you know, you've got plenty of patio shade here. And I also like seeing the little preventative care, maintenance, upkeep items like the little bug screen on that entry door there to keep the critters out. So overall, guys, I am happy with what I see. I think that this would make an awesome, kind of like I said at the beginning, if you're just going to start camping, if you're trying to get out of that old family pop-up or something like that, or if you're just trying to get into a slide out because you don't have one currently, this would be a really good fit for any of those situations. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.